Powering farmers with intelligence. EFL AG-DATA presents to you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of EFL AG-DATA Podcast, where we bring you some of the latest challenges and trials with regards to the livestock industry. I'm your host, Sue, and I have here today two distinguished guests, Matthew Clark. Hello, Matthew.
Hi, Sue. Nice to be here.
And Elvin, who comes all the way from Philippines to tell us the situation on the ground. Welcome, Elvin.
Hi, Sue. Great to be here.
Thank you for coming today. Today's topic is going to be about African Swine Fever, or ASF, that is hitting Philippines in a very hard way. Perhaps you can share with us a quick overview on the situation. Matthew, can you start us off?
Well, ASF has had a huge impact on the Philippines. There's a Philstar report has come out in August that is showing that 5 million pigs have been culled with the disease, 3 million have died. It's a very serious situation. So the main affected regions would be Luzon, Central Visayas. These have been hit the hardest, we think, with the ASF. It's been really devastating, both as a business and also to the local communities.
And Elvin, perhaps you can share with us, how is the situation like on the ground?
Yeah, Sue, I'd say it's rough out there. Now, farmers are feeling the fear and the threat of ASF because for now, it's not a matter of if will they affected, but it's a matter of when will they affected. So ASF is not just about the immediate loss that it brings. There's also that lingering threat towards the farmers regards its effect on their business, effects on their production. And yeah, with the outbreaks coming in, the latest one from Batangas, which is a province that produces a lot of our pork for the Philippines, and another one in North Cotabato, which is also a big pig producing province for the Philippines. So I would say it's rough out there right now. Farmers are fearful of the effect of African swine fever.
It sounds like a tough situation to be in. But is there a light at the end of a tunnel? I heard that there's a new ASF vaccine that might be coming out to Philippines soon.
Yeah, that's correct. The Philippines FDA has indicated there is likely to be a vaccine available at the end of this year or early 25. It's not a silver bullet. We have to understand that. But it is going to be a big contributor to containing and slowing down the disease.
Exactly. With how hard the swine industry has been hit, losses of about 200 billion pesos. Yeah, I think it's clear that even a little bit of good news that the vaccine can bring can make a lot of difference. But though there is still a lot of uncertainty about the efficacy of the vaccine, especially in field conditions, I think a little bit of good news, something like this to the farmers is good. It's better there is than none.
So perhaps we can move on to the current situation of pork supply in the Philippines. Matthew, how are they keeping up with the demand?
Well, that's a bit of a mixed bag, a difficult question to answer. In the past, the industry has been self-sufficient, internalized in the Philippines. Now, it's not so much a question of keeping up with demand. It's about how much of the pork supply in the industry comes from internal sources against imports, which are now coming in. So we're getting more and more reliant on imports in the Philippines. So it is balancing out. We have to be very careful, though, that the farm gate prices for the consumers could be badly hit by excessive imports. So it needs careful regulation.
Interesting. Now, Elvin, do you think imports are hurting or helping local producers?
Well, I'd say for imports, it's a double-edged sword. Firstly, they help to meet the demand of the Philippines, which remains strong. Filipinos haven't really cut back on their pork consumption. But like Matthew said, no, farm gate prices are down. So farmers are feeling the squeeze of it. And before the ASF, the average cost of production was around 150 kilograms. I mean, 150 pesos per kilogram. But for now, it's about 130 pesos per kilogram. So that means farmers are actually operating at a loss. So when your business is at a loss, it's always not a good news.
I see. Well, that's tough, isn't it? It sounds like ASF is hitting the industry from all sides. Production losses, low prices, and such. Now, how are the local farmers producing in all of this? How are the local farmers coping with all of this?
They're struggling. We have to understand they're struggling. Some of the farmers are just carrying on, hoping the situation will improve. They're sort of digging their heels in. The bigger players are also facing the same problems with very high costs, mounting losses. This is going on. So there's an area of the industry that is just saying, stick with it. It will recover and will come in later. Other farmers are diversifying into other livestock types, reducing the risk. The diseases, of course, are different in different species, so they're working out a sort of complementary strategies. So the industry still needs to recover, but that has been slow. We're down about 20% from the beginning of the crisis, and we have to slowly recover. But it's challenging for everyone. There is a question really about how long people's finances can take these low prices and these bad conditions.
What are your thoughts, Elvin?
Yeah. What I could say is that there's also that talk about misinformation and rumors spreading among the farmers, which does not help at all with the current situation. And some traders and some middlemen of being accused of manipulating for their own gain, which also doesn't help. It further squeezing the farmers' margins. And also there's the feed cost that is an issue also for the farmers. It's also been rising because of the global grain prices, even putting more pressure to profitability.
It sounds like a tough situation. It's pushing a lot of farmers to the brink, isn't it? Is there light at the end of the tunnel, in your opinion?
Well, for many, we're in survival mode. We've got some light at the end of the tunnel that the commodity prices are still falling. Corn is getting cheaper, soybean meal is getting cheaper. That's going to take the ease off the losses, I think, in the near term. We're looking for a strong recovery. There's a government announcement. There's 2.5 billion peso support program coming in place, and that's going to help these affected farmers. It's going to take a long time for these initiatives to come through. Farming is a long cycle production business, especially on the sow herd. So we've got to take this slowly. We've got to keep everything we do, like in the isolation and things, in place. That we need to look after those, pay attention to all the aspects of disease control, and not wait for this vaccine to be that silver bullet we talked of.
Before we wrap up, what do you both think are some of the important things that we should watch out for in the coming months? Matthew?
Oh, well, I'd say we keep an eye on the vaccine rollout just to bring it in. We know it's going to have a positive effect, but let's not take our eye off the very important practice of isolating pigs. When I was farming 40 years ago in the UK, we had swine fever as a threat. And if I wanted to move a pig, I had to get a piece of paper, take it to the police station, have it chopped. And if I was in an affected area, I couldn't move those pigs. It was very tightly controlled. So we still need to have that mentality, that siege mentality about looking after the health of our pigs, even without the vaccine. Yeah. So let's not look at the silver bullet as the star on the horizon that's going to save us all. We can't afford to drop our guard in any area. So that's what I would say to the hog industry. Keep playing clean in terms of farming. Good farming practice. Absolutely essential. Yeah.
I think the vaccine is definitely key, and also containment and isolation of the cases, being more strict in the logistical ways of how these pigs are brought from farm towards the market. And also they need the support of the government, whether it be more accurate information, more financial support. Definitely it's key with the budget allocation as well for from the government towards the support to the farmers. I think it would be a crucial support or a crucial way to help the industry bounce back.
Well, those are some great points that you have shared with us today. Some very good insights. So we just want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Matthew, for coming in.
My pleasure, Sue.
And as well as to you, Elvin, from coming in all the way from the Philippines to give us a situation on the ground. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. So there you go. Here is another podcast from EFL AG-DATA, where we bring you some of the very best in what is happening in the livestock industry. Stay tuned. Until next time.